Live and live. Buy original. Be original. SON.
Standards development and quality assurance dominate activities at the Standards Organization of Nigeria in the last 1 year, as the agency reels out over 339 new standards as benchmark for quality requirements for goods and services in Nigeria. SON deepens commitment to developing Nigeria's industrial sector with special focus on small and medium enterprises, SMEs. What does the ordinary man on the streets, often described as the average Nigerian, know about standards? How has the nation been benefiting from standardization? What is the importance of standards to you and I? We have answers to these questions and details of the 339 new standards by the nation's apex standard organization, the SON. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy every bit of the program, Standard and New. My name is Ifeoma Okonkwo. I'll be back shortly.
Why you dey buy fake product make you dey careful, no go damage your life. You've got one life to live.
Buy original.
You should know where to go. Na SON. Don't touch, don't touch.
It's fake.
Don't touch, don't touch.
It's bad.
Don't touch, don't touch.
It hurts.
Don't touch, don't touch.
It destroys.
Don't touch, don't touch.
It kills.
You should know where to go. Na SON.
Standards Organization of Nigeria. Improving lives through standards.
Welcome back, and glad to have you back. Since the federal government embarked on its economic recovery and growth plan with emphasis on diversification of the economy, the Standards Organization of Nigeria has remained an integral part of government's effort in that regard through the provision of standards. This is to help manufacturers produce goods of acceptable standards that can compete favorably with imported ones. About 2 weeks ago, the SON introduced 339 new standards duly approved by the Governing Council of the Standards Organization of Nigeria. Here are insights into the imperatives of the standards and their benefits to the nation's industrial sector. Please take a look.
Standard can be defined as a level of quality, or better still, something used as a benchmark or measure in comparative evaluation. The Standards Organization of Nigeria, the SON, is the nation's apex standard body empowered by law to develop, implement, evaluate, and enforce standards. Since it was established more than 4 decades ago, the SON has done and is still doing a lot in the area of standard development for products and services. Understanding the nitty-gritty of standard development and its relevance to economic growth is as important as appreciating the meaning of standards. So, we headed for the streets to fill the pulse of some Nigerians.
When you talk about standard, you are looking at the specifications. It must meet the world standard. Like we have the Standard Organization in Nigeria that is saddled with the responsibility of making every goods coming in, even the ones produced here, to be of standard quality. And hence you have that, then you are sure of what you are consuming.
Different kinds of people in this world have their own standard. Like I myself now, I have my own standard. You have your own standard. And that standard have level. You understand me? When we are talking of standard, high standard, lower standard. And some people in this world, even they don't even meet up to their own standard, but they want to be there.
It's okay. It has a lot as per quality. And by extension, the body or regulatory body must have certified it. In this instance, you can be talking of SON, now Standard Organization of Nigeria. That is, once a product passes through the regulation protocol, then the good can be said to be of standard.
It's a means of certification, means that the product has to go through processes of verification before it's been let out in the market. I think it's a good one. good start for Nigerians.
Standard is to benchmark a situation where you say this is our standard for a particular event, which means that it means anything below that benchmark falls below the standard.
Interestingly, more Nigerians understand and appreciate standards as a necessity for quality products and economic prosperity. In 2018, the SON Governing Council approved 500 standards used by industries within and outside the country. These standards cut across agro and allied, processing, manufacturing, tourism, human resource management, and African traditional medicine.
We look at their processes through ManCap, continual visitation to the factories to see their conformity to standards that they elaborated with us. Then our labs are also there to test conformity to standards, both for the products within Nigeria and for the products outside Nigeria.
Highlights of the brand new standards were provided by the SON's Director of Standard Development, Chinyere Egwonwu, at this press briefing held during the week in Lagos.
SON has been doing a lot in terms of developing standards for products and services in line with its mandates as enshrined in the Enabling Act 14 of 2015 and in accordance with global trends and international best practices. We have in 2018 alone developed over 500 standards that have been approved for use in industry and commerce within Nigeria and with international community. The standards cut across various economic sectors with a lot of focus on the agro and allied sector, in the manufacturing, processing, the African traditional medicine, human resources management, and tourism, among others.
She told newsmen that out of the 339 standards, 85 were newly developed, 31 were existing standards that were reviewed, while 223 were adopted international, continental and regional standards as Nigerian industrial standards.
Among the newly approved Nigerian industrial standards are the following: the standards for dry beans, codes of practice for planting, codes of practice for harvesting, code of practice for storage and transportation as well as packaging, all of these on dry beans. The standards and codes of practice that can be seen cut across the dry beans value chain. When considered along with the SON testing capacity and international accreditation of our laboratory, this gives due assurance for food security, self-sufficiency, and great potential for export of dry beans and foreign exchange earnings therefrom. Suffice to say that SON has also coordinated the development of standards for Nigeria's smoked fish, yam flour, cocoa, plantain chips, rice, gari, sesame seeds oil, and many more in the agro-allied sector. All these standards deliberately address the nation's agricultural value chain from planting, harvesting, processing, packaging to transportation. That is, from farm to the table within and outside this country.
Council also approved 2 unique standards. They are the Anti-Bribery Management System Standard and Good Governance Standard.
Part of the federal government's dogged fight against corruption as one of its cardinal programs, 2 unique standards among those that were just approved by the Standard Council exist. These are the Anti-Bribery Management System Standard, the Good Governance Standard. While the Anti-Bribery Standard is an adopted international organization for standardization, ISO standard, the Good Governance Standard is homemade and the first of its type anywhere in the world. The standard is in fact serving as a base document for the ongoing development of an international standard on governance of an organization by the International Organization for Standardization, ISO.
Human resource management, African traditional medicine, and tourism standards also got the approval of the SON Governing Council.
It is important to also draw your attention to the newly approved Nigerian Industrial Standard on African traditional medicine, human resource management, as well as tourism and hotel management, among many others. The expected value derivable from standardized African traditional medicine cannot be overemphasized, particularly with the abundance of potent medicinal plants on the continent and Nigeria in particular. The standards for human resource management and tourism are also targeted at capacity development in support of government's economic diversification agenda and improvements in foreign exchange earnings.
The agency, she explained, has over 5,000 national standards and have more than 100,000 international, continental and regional standards. For the Governing Council led by its chairman, Edith Akpan, the economic benefits of these standards are enormous, and it is a conscious effort by the Standards Organization of Nigeria to support government's diversification drive and promote the growth of the Nigerian industrial sector. The council, who were on an inspection of facility at the SON's ultra-modern laboratories, expressed satisfaction at the SON's level of infrastructural development over the years. The SON, he disclosed, has not only acquired state-of-the-art facility, but invested in human capital development, which the chairman of council says is as phenomenal.
The management is well on ground. There are a lot of competent staff. They have a good leader, and they have achieved quite a lot, and we believe that if the necessary support are given to them, they will achieve more than what they've so far achieved.
Representatives of Manufacturers Association are optimistic that the new standards greatly help reposition industries to be competitive and relevant in the domestic and global markets.
Yeah, we are aware of those newly introduced standards, and we know that some of them are so particular about the SMEs of this world. So we are very glad, because it will have a better leverage on our members' products when it talks of quality and also penetrative strategy. How can our members' products compete favorably with imported goods? So this standard is going to guide the modus operandi, the nitty-gritty of doing business of their product quality and other issues.
The new standards 339, which has been rolled out, is part and parcel of effort to get Nigeria onto the mainstream of things as far as the international standards itself are concerned, because we are part and parcel of the international community, and a lot of progress has been made in this particular area. So we see these as very important to also get our members on board in terms of our products, our services, and to be able to compete as well.
Well, those of us in the business community welcome the idea of the approval of new standards. For us, it's an indication that the SON is dynamic in its processes. Because over time, there we have seen a lot of developments in the business environment. We have seen a lot of development with regards to quality and standards. And it is very important that we ensure that our standards are contemporary in nature. So from time to time, there is need to review standards. And that, I think, is what all this new approval is all about. So it's something that we welcome as a business community.
Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Osita Aboloma Esquire, believes that the world is a global market and standardization remains the key with which local manufacturers can unlock the immense potential to be relevant in the global space. He therefore urged producers of goods and services to take advantage of the various standards to grow their businesses.
The major thing is to let them know the benefits of conformity to standards. That if you conform to standard and international best practice of ways of doing things, you get it right the first time. You save, you add value to your process. You increase customers' confidence in your product. After the approval, we will now have to publish in national dailies and other areas where the stakeholders will have easy access to them. to know what the current trend is in standards. Then after the publication, in accordance with the SUN Act of 2015, we'll now start massive sensitization, both within and outside Nigeria, for stakeholders to know the importance and the application of standards. After sensitization publication, they will now embark on compliance to standards.
Muna fata shekaru na da za su zo, mutanen mu za su yi la'akari da aikin da muke yi, kuma za su lura cewa ya fi cancanta ka sai abu na kwarai da ka sai abu na arha.
Ka yi meze n'obodo anyị a, ka yi mee ka ihe a na-eme n'obodo anyị a, ma ihe a na-ebubata n'obodo anyị a ọ dị mma. Anyị na-ayọ biko ka anyị jikọọ aka, na asị na ofu aka adịghị ekechi ngwugwu. Ka anyị jikọọ aka ka Nigeria wee wọrọ anyị obodo.
Ẹ ká lajú wálẹ̀ gbogbo tá a bá máa fún wa rà ká lè pé o tó pé ojú òṣùwọ̀n. Èyí tí ò bá yé wa àgbẹ̀ tó bá mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ ló tó wà sọ́nà. Èyí tá a bá dẹ̀ rà tí ò bá pójú òṣùwọ̀n ẹ lọ sí standard organization iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ tó bá súnmọ́ yín jù ẹ lọ ṣàlàyé fún wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n á ràn yín lọ́wọ́.
Welcome to the world of standard and quality, where we offer you information on product safety and quality. The program is Standard and You.
Choose life and live. Buy original. Be original. SON.
You're watching Standard and You. 11 warehouses loaded with substandard textile materials in Kano State have been sealed by the Standards Organization of Nigeria. One expatriate, Mr. Tom, suspected to be a major perpetrator of the illegal business, was arrested in connection with the seizure with a street value of over 50 million naira. The agency's surveillance and intelligence monitoring team, led by its coordinator, Sulaiman Issa, says the exercise is part of the agency's cautious plan to rid the markets of substandard textiles and ensure consumers get value for their money.
Standards Organization of Nigeria (SON) brings a new lease of life to Nigerian SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards aimed at improving the exports of the nation's food and cash crops. This explains why we have developed more standards for Nigeria's produce like sesame, cocoa, curry, and more, courtesy our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turnaround time for SUNCAP and MANCAP to reduce substandard products and legal arm to prosecute offenders. Join Standards Organization of Nigeria in ridding our nation of substandard goods due to consistent market surveillance and raids. See something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
It's Standard and You on the station at 6:30 p.m. every Monday. It's no doubt Nigeria's only platform on television where you learn more about product safety and quality. Let's join Alimot on our feedback corner. Over to you, Alimot.
Thank you, Ifoma. Welcome to the feedback segment of the program. I am Halimot Osifo. This anonymous message says, what will governments do to those who import substandard goods into the country? By virtue of the SUN Act No. 14, 2015, SUN has powers to prosecute and jail purveyors of fake and substandard products across the country. Not just that, SUN has powers to seize, destroy substandard products, and also seal off premises where such defective products are manufactured, stored, or sold. You are advised to say no to substandard products, as the Standards Organization of Nigeria now has stiffer penalty for offenders. Christian Eze says, please, where is your office in Anambra? Alright, SUN Anambra State Office is at 12 Umuwakpo Street off Professor Benchuk's Avenue, Abuja Estate, Onitsha Enugu Expressway, Oka, Anambra. Chidima says, I love this program, it's the best. Glad to know. Ibrahim Abubakar says, I really appreciate the awareness you are creating. Yes, it's our responsibility to inform you about products you buy, sell, and consume. Lancome from Jos says, where is Sun office located in Jos? Sun Plateau State office is at 10 Rayfield Road, Bukuru, Jos. Muhammad from Yobe says, what is the program about? Standard & You is a public sensitization program that tells you all you need to know about product quality and safety. Tune in every Monday, 6:30 p.m. on NTA. And that's the much you can take on the feedback segment of the program. We love to hear from you, so keep your messages coming in. Call us or send in your messages to the number 0705-972-4455. Tag along with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And do not forget you can watch the program online at youtube.com/standardandyou. Buy original, sell authentic, and use only the best. Bye for now.